for my talk. So the title of my talk is Relevance of Indian Grammatical Tradition to Computational Linguistics. You may wonder, how can a theory developed around 2500 or 3000 years ago be relevant in the present context of information technology? The linguistic sciences which I am going to talk about, these are almost 2500, more than 2500 years old. And I am now going to talk about their relevance to this present context of information technology. First, let me talk little about technologies. There are technologies which are language independent. Like we have the electromagnetic instruments such as radio, telephone, television, where we use language and we record something, and irrespective of the language in which we are speaking, it goes across the media and the person at the other end is able to understand it. There is no language processing involved here. Everything, whatever we are speaking, those waves, they get encoded in electromagnetic waves, in the form of electromagnetic waves, which are independent of languages. But there are some language dependent technologies, such as computers and mobiles. Those who have used computers or mobiles a few years ago, maybe 10, 20 years ago, might have noticed that in those days, on mobiles, we were able to type only in using the English keyboard. Whereas now we are able to type in with our own scripts. So this technology revolution has taken place, or there are now language, the machines, the technology understands the languages. They can process scripts, they can process the text in different languages. So suppose I write something in, say, Marathi, you should be able to translate it into Tamil script. Not Tamil script, but not just Tamil script, but even into Tamil language. Or if I speak in Marathi, it should be possible in next few years to listen to it in Tamil. So it will be something like I speak over a phone through my mobile in Marathi, and you will be, or the talk which I am giving, instead of English, I can give the talk in Tamil and the others can listen to it in Marathi. That is possible with this technology. So whenever there is a technology, naturally a question arises, what is the science behind this? And the unique contribution of Indian civilization is the development of scientific theories of communication through languages. So Indian civilization has developed several scientific theories of communication. Some of them are listed here: Shiksha and Pratishakya, which deal with the phonetics of the language, how and from which part of your mouth organ various sounds emerge, or the Chandas Shastra, which deals with the prosody, or Nirukta, which tells you what is the etymology, what is the derivation of a word, and Vyakarana is the grammar, which tells you how a word is formed, what is the suffix, what is the stem, how a sentence is formed, how to analyze a sentence, and all that. So these theories were developed in India way back in around 2500 to 3000 years ago. Two intrinsic questions for these people in India who were developing these theories. The two questions that they were asking were, how do humans express their thoughts through linguistic expressions? How does a listener interpret these thoughts? So there are two things. Whenever a communication takes place, A speaker expresses his thoughts through the linguistic expressions, and when a listener listens to them, then they interpret these thoughts. So these are the two ways of communication. The first one led to the grammar. The first question, answer to the first question led to the development of grammar, and the answer to the second question led to the theories of verbal cognition, which were developed in India almost simultaneously. Now, these sciences which were developed in India, these are, my claim is, or our claim is, these sciences are very much useful for building the technology, language technology. What is the relation between science and technology? We know that science helps technology in several ways, but two of the ways I have chosen here. One is science helps technology as a knowledge base for evaluation of the feasibility. So, is it possible to build some technology? And if it is possible, what exactly is possible and what is not? That we know from the science. Also, it helps us in efficient engineering design, how uh, the uh, the flow of various modules should be, in which order they should be joined together, or what should be the path for going from one step to another. All these things we know from the science itself. So, with these two points as focus, I am going to uh, continue my talk. So, first, let me tell you something about the knowledge base. How these Indian language sciences provide a knowledge base for evaluation of the feasibility of any technology. That means whether something is possible or not. If it is possible, then how to do it is the next step. But whether something is possible or not, this is what now we are going to see. So, in fact, we are going to get some clues or some answers to this question, what is feasible? I start with one Panini's Sutra. I know that there will be many people here who will not be knowing anything about Panini's grammar, doesn't matter, but all of you know your languages very well. So I am trying to make it as simple as possible. Panini has given rules of grammar in the form of some compact, in some compact way. And that compact way is something which is very similar to how the programs are written for computers in today's world. So, one sutra, this sutra is a formula, something like a mathematical formula. One sutra in Panini's grammar is Swatantra Karta. What it says is, when so he is basically going to talk about how a speaker explain expresses his thoughts. So the same event can be expressed in various different ways. So to give an example, suppose there is an action of cooking, and suppose Devadatta is the person who is cooking, we say Devadatta cooks or Devadatta is cooking. Sometimes we have a question, oh, today some 10 guests are coming to my home. Can this vessel cook 2 kgs of rice? When I ask this question, and suppose my daughter says, yes, this vessel can cook. So, uh, so what she is replying is, yes, this vessel cooks, or uh, this cooker cooks well. Such sentences we use. Similarly, sometimes we have a question, oh, can this gas stay or long for 1 month? Now guests are coming next month, and my gas, just few days ago I replaced my cylinder. Can it long till they are there? So And then somebody says, yes, yes, this gas can cook for all of them. Okay. So now you see, when we say Devadatta cooks, their activity of Devadatta's cooking is totally different. He takes a vessel, he pours some rice in it, pours water, cleans it, and then puts all these with water on the gas stove. He lights up the gas stove, all that. So there are so many activities that are happening, or so many sub activities that are taking place when Devadatta is cooking. But when you say, yes, this vessel can cook for 5 persons or can cook 2 kg rice, there you are just thinking about holding that rice. That rice will not get spilled, spilled out. So there, this cooking, when you are saying cooking, actually vessel is not going to do the activities of Devadatta. It will just hold the rice. Similarly, the uh, the fuel is going, whether the gas will supply the necessary fuel or not. This is what we are looking at when we say, in all these 3 cases, the focus is different. So what Panini says is, when you are saying Devadatta cooks, Devadatta is the doer of the activity of all that cooking. Okay. When you say a vessel cooks, that cooking is different from the cooking of Devadatta, and the fuel cooks or the gas cooks, there the activity is different. And thus, what he says is, what you express through a sentence, from the sentence a vessel cooks, you cannot imagine that this vessel is a kind of holder, because suppose I am speaking in, say, Marathi, and if I say bhande shizavte, shizavne is for cooking, and bhande, if you do not know what it is, you may think bhande may be name of a person, or so if you do not know, you may think bhande as the name of the person, and then you will think that it is the doer of the activity. So what Panini is saying is, what is expressed here is doer of the activity. But if you look at the English grammars, in English, they call Devadatta an agent, Sthali a container, and Edaha, this is the fuel, as the instrument. Yes, actually they are agent, container, and instruments. But if you do not know what is the meaning of these words, and if you are just looking at what is encoded through the suffixes, what we see here is Devadatta has an agreement with cook, a vessel has an agreement with cook, or the logs has an agreement with cook, and therefore these are all the kartas, and this is what Panini has expressed through the sutra, that it is a swatantra karta. I will not go through the explanations given in Sanskrit, just to avoid uh, because there is limited time, and I thought I will directly go to the explanation of that Sanskrit in English. I will not read the Sanskrit one. So what is said in the tradition is, in the sentence Devadatta pachati, Devadatta cooks, the activity of cooking refers to the activity of Devadatta, namely putting a vessel on the stove, pouring water in it, adding rice, supplying fuel, and so on. And this activity refers to the activity of the chief doer, okay, pradhanakarta. In the sentence thali pachati, a vessel cooks, the cooking activity refers to holding the rice and water till the rice cooks. And this activity is that of a vessel. And in the sentence, Edaha pachanti, or logs cook, or the wood cooks, the cooking activity refers to the supply of sufficient heat by a piece of firewood and thus refers to the activity of an instrument. So, what is expressed by these sentences are the agents, chief agent or the locus or instrument, though is there, actually what is being expressed is the activity of these agents or locus or instrument. So what Panini says is, it is difficult to decide whether something is a karana or instrument or locus just by looking at the sentence. What you can actually extract through the linguistic expression is that there is a concord or some kind of agreement between a noun and verb. And this agreement is according to Panini, a karta. So when we say that this cooker cooks, cooker becomes the karta or the doer of the activity of the cooking. Or when we say the gas cooks, the gas becomes the karta or the doer of the activity of cooking. And here cooking refers to supplying the fuel. So in order to, but suppose I want to say, oh no, gas is an instrument. I should say gas is an instrument, it is a fuel. So I cannot call it doer of the activity. Then we will have to supply lot of word knowledge to the machine. Then only machine can understand that this gas is the fuel. Let me take another example. In even now we have we use locks with keys, okay, but I can imagine in few years from now, or even now also, there are several examples of sliding doors. Just you stand in front of the door and door automatically opens. There is no lock, or there is, one need not open it with the key, etc. So suppose after say 10-15 years, when the locks are not there, our children suppose are reading some books where it is written that he opened the door with a lock, with a key. He will not understand what this means because he would not have seen any key or a lock in his lifetime. So unless you have the word knowledge, you cannot understand the sentences as the kind of information that the key is the instrument to open the lock, etc. You cannot understand. But if I just say the lock opens, okay, or lock opened, I know that yes, lock, the opening of the opening was done by the lock. Now, whether that lock is name of the person or is the thing which opened automatically, all these things, the language does not express directly. This is the word knowledge which tells you that, oh, lock is the thing which is to be opened with a key, etc. So what Panini actually told us here is, if you want to go for the kind of information such as instrument, etc., you need to provide lot of more information. Without any extra linguistic information, Panini says, what you can extract is the relation of karta.